While you sleep, your body rests, but your consciousness travels. Your mind remains fully active. So where does it go? Few people know the answer to this question, but for centuries, both spiritual traditions and scientific research have been trying to unravel this mystery. The truth I am about to share with you may change your perspective on the nature of sleep and what consciousness is forever. If you have had a dream that felt like real life, share it in the comments, because such experiences can reveal a lot about the secrets of consciousness. Throughout human history, sleep has always been a mystery. Since ancient times, cultures all over the world have believed that the soul leaves the body and travels to other realms while asleep. In ancient Egypt, dreams were seen as messages from the gods. In Greece, philosophers such as Plato argued that the soul reaches higher realities while resting. Today, we know that sleep is essential for the healthy functioning of the brain and memory. However, something much more profound occurs during certain stages of sleep. Brain activity resembles a deep meditation state or near-death experiences. Research shows that our perception of time and reality completely changes during this stage. But here's the interesting part. If consciousness were just a product of the brain, why do so many people report experiencing spiritual encounters, lucid dreams, and inexplicable visions that defy logic during sleep? Are these just illusions, or is something really happening? The answer may be a phenomenon that very few people know about. The journey of consciousness. The process of separating from the physical body every night is a fascinating one. But very few people are truly aware of it. While you sleep, your body enters a deep resting state. Brain frequencies slow down, and perception of the physical world disappears. But does this mean that consciousness also shuts down? The answer is no. In fact, while your body rests, your mind remains active, to such a degree that science still has difficulty fully explaining these states of consciousness. We go through different stages during sleep. The stage where the most remarkable dreams and extraordinary experiences occur is the REM sleep stage. But there is something beyond that. According to the research of scientists such as the Monroe Institute and Charles Tart, during this stage, consciousness can literally separate from the physical body and access different dimensions of reality. This phenomenon is called astral projection or out-of-body experience. But why don't most people realize it? The answer? It lies in the fact that we are taught how to perceive reality from a young age. We think that things we can't touch or measure don't exist. However, people who have out-of-body experiences talk about an indescribable sense of freedom, a broad perception of the universe, and the ability to visit places they've never been before. There are incidents documenting this situation. When people wake up in the astral state, they can describe the physical characteristics of the place they were in. They can describe events that took place far away from their physical bodies and places they've never been in detail. One of the most well-known names on this subject is Robert Monroe. He devoted his life to researching the projection of consciousness and has published a book about his experiences in non-physical dimensions. And one of the most remarkable points is this: your mood and mental state just before you go to sleep can directly affect where your consciousness goes during the night. If you sleep with feelings of fear, anxiety, or confusion, you can switch to more intense, congested, and blurred dream levels. However, if you sleep with a pure intention and a high frequency, you can open the doors to spiritual experiences and deep knowledge. Try something different before you go to sleep tonight. Before you close your eyes, give your mind a clear and distinct command. I want to remember what my consciousness experienced tonight. Even this simple intention can open surprising doors to discovering your own nature and consciousness. Have you ever heard of giving yourself suggestions before you go to sleep? Very few people know this, but the moments just before sleep are a powerful opportunity to program your subconscious and direct your consciousness to certain experiences. Right before you go to sleep, your brain enters a state called the hypnagogic phase. In other words, a threshold state between wakefulness and the dream world. In this state, your mind is extremely open to suggestions. Great geniuses in history, such as Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla, used this technique to gain revolutionary ideas. They have used it. They usually sleep with a question in their mind, and when they wake up, they find the answer they are looking for. So how can you use this method to your advantage? It is quite simple. Before going to sleep, clearly tell your brain what you want. I want to wake up rested and energetic tomorrow morning. Let my mind come up with new ideas for my career life. Let it show me ways to create more material abundance. Help me solve this problem in my sleep. I want to remember my dreams clearly when I wake up in the morning. Such suggestions work directly into your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind continues to produce solutions while you sleep. As a result, when you wake up in the morning, a sudden idea, a sense of clarity, or a symbolic dream that tells you something appears in your mind. This technique can also be combined with the intention of having spiritual experiences. For example, people who are interested in astral projection say the following sentences over and over again before going to sleep. Tonight I will be conscious in the astral world. I want to remember everything I experience after I leave my body, regularly, repeatedly, and with intention. Many people report having lucid dreams, spiritual encounters, and even experiences that expand consciousness. While your physical body remains motionless in bed, your mind can transcend boundaries. Moreover, science still does not fully understand this process. So where exactly does your consciousness go? The answer to this question depends on a few different factors: your level of perception, your emotional state, and the intention you set before falling asleep. Some people have extremely vivid, lifelike dreams. Others experience lucid dreams. In other words, they realize they are dreaming and consciously interact with their surroundings. And some say they leave their bodies and watch their own bodies from above. Interestingly, similar experiences have been described by mystics, Buddhist monks, and even people who have had near-death experiences. Many people report going to places that defy three-dimensional logic when they leave their bodies. Some describe cities of light. Some describe encounters with spirit guides. Others describe dimensions where time and space operate completely differently. But you may ask, was this just a dream, or did I really go somewhere else? This is where some compelling evidence comes in. For example, some people who have out-of-body experiences can describe details of places they have never been. They describe what they saw when they wake up, and these descriptions are accurate in a way that is not physically possible. Moreover, quantum physics suggests that consciousness is not limited to the brain. After a profound near-death experience, renowned neurosurgeon Dr. Eben Alexander said, "The experience I had on the other side was even more real than my waking life." This raises the question, do we access parallel realities during sleep, higher dimensions, or just parts of our minds? The answer? It may be hidden in dreams. Because many dreams are not just a product of the brain, but can also be records of our cosmic journeys. Before we continue, here's a question for you. Do you want to learn more about parallel realities? If so, you can leave a comment saying, "I want to learn more about parallel realities," so we can prepare a special video for you about these hidden worlds. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. Dreams have been studied as messages from the subconscious by different cultures and spiritual traditions for centuries. According to Freud, dreams were the expression of repressed desires. Carl Jung saw dreams as a door opening to the collective unconscious, a space where the common symbols and archetypes of all humanity guide us on our personal journey. Many people describe dreams in which they say they have out-of-body experiences, encounters with spiritual beings, or visions of the future. These are called lucid dreams. In these dreams, the person is aware that they are dreaming and can consciously interact with their environment. According to spiritual traditions, our consciousness can travel on different planes of existence during sleep. For example, in shamanism, dreams are seen as a spiritual journey. They can receive teachings from spirit guides or reveal secret information. Some Buddhist teachings say that dreams are actually a training for death. They help the soul to recognize the spiritual realms it will pass to after leaving the physical body. And here's something even more surprising. Some people have reported having the same dream with friends or family members on the same night. How is this possible? This could indicate that our consciousness is not confined to the brain alone during sleep, but is connected to a larger field of information. Quantum physics suggests that everything in the universe is connected through a unified field. It speaks of a deep level of reality where the boundaries between individual minds disappear. If thoughts and emotions have certain frequencies, then two people can connect to the same frequency during sleep and enter the same dreamscape. The concept of the collective unconscious, introduced by Carl Jung, suggests that we all share a common treasure trove of symbols, memories, and archetypes. This could explain why people all over the world have similar dreams without ever knowing each other. In deep sleep states, our minds can access this universal database, which makes shared dreams possible. Some people report having shared spiritual experiences. 2 or more people experience the same dream on the same night. He explains that they met at the exact moment and that when they woke up, they compared the details they saw and that they matched each other. This suggests the following. When the boundaries of the physical body disappear during sleep, can consciousness have real interactions with other consciousnesses? But of course, not every dream is random. It is not a product of daily repetitions either. Some dreams contain very important messages, universal signs, and even prophecies. Many people have said that they dream of events that will happen before they happen. The reason for this may be the following. Our minds are not limited by the rules of the physical world while we are asleep. When we are awake, we are bound to a linear timeline, past, present, future. But in dreams, these lines are stretched. Consciousness works in flexible time dimensions and can access information beyond normal perception. Physicist John Wheeler suggested that the future can affect the past in quantum mechanics. If this effect is possible at the subatomic level, can consciousness access information about the future when it becomes independent of the body? Many scientists and researchers have studied such precognitive dreams. One of the most well-known examples is that Abraham Lincoln dreamed of his death a few days before he was killed. Again, people who dreamed of disasters, such as the sinking of the Titanic and the September 11th attacks, the narrations have been recorded. Carl Jung defines such simultaneities as synchronicity. In other words, there may be deep connections between events that cannot be explained by coincidence. If time works differently in the conscious world, clues can be received about events that have not yet occurred during a dream. It is as if the memory of the future is being accessed. So, how can we understand whether a dream is just an ordinary dream or a precognitive dream? The key is intensity and clarity. Precognitive dreams are usually very vivid. They are full of specific details, and when the dreamer wakes up, it was not just a dream. He feels his emotions deeply. If this is true, it means that we can connect to a larger field of consciousness while sleeping, a universal network of consciousness where all possibilities already exist. There are various types of dreams, and each has different meanings. The first of these is symbolic dreams. They are dreams in which the subconscious conveys messages to us with metaphors and images. For example, seeing a house can represent an inner emotional state. The second type of dream, predictive dreams, contain sections about the future. They provide access to information beyond linear time. Many people, important events have been seen in your dreams beforehand. The third type is lucid dreams. They are dreams in which you realize you are dreaming and consciously interact with them. You can even change the direction of the story in these dreams. And the last type of dreams is spiritual dreams. This type of dream includes encounters with spiritual guides, divine messages, or out-of-body experiences. So how can we interpret dreams correctly? Attention and intention play a critical role here. If you want to remember your dreams and understand their meanings better, get into the following habit. Write down everything you remember in a dream journal as soon as you wake up. It may be just a few pieces at first, but over time the details increase. Repeating patterns, symbols, and messages begin to become clear. It is also very effective to stand still for a few seconds as soon as you wake up in the morning, because those first few seconds are the most critical time to remember your dream. During those moments, the images are still active in the mind. In addition, looking at the screen too much before going to sleep, getting too much information, or being exposed to blue light can reduce your dream recall capacity. A more peaceful sleep environment helps you remember your dreams more clearly. One of the most mysterious aspects of sleep is the astral plane and its different dimensions. The concept of the astral plane has been studied extensively in esoteric teachings such as Hermeticism, Theosophy, and Spiritualism. According to these traditions, the astral plane is an intermediate level of existence where thoughts and emotions take shape. This is a highly variable dimension. Reality consciousness can change shape instantly with the vibration and intention of the person who reaches it. Many people who have out-of-body experiences while asleep have described different layers of this plane. Some layers are full of light, peace, teaching, and positive beings. Others are dark, chaotic, and fearful. It mirrors the person's inner state. This shows that our vibration frequency before we sleep can directly affect the quality of the astral experience we will have. Many spiritual researchers divide the astral plane into three main levels. The first is the lower astral plane. It is associated with intense energies. It is the manifestation of fear, guilt, repressed emotions, and imbalances. People often describe it as a dark and heavy environment. The second is the middle astral plane. It is the most frequently accessed layer. Most conventional dreams occur here. Interaction is seen with reflections of the subconscious. The third and last is the high astral plane. It is associated with elevated states of consciousness, encounters with spirit guides, learning sessions, and mental expansion experiences can be experienced. Studies on astral travel have shown that some people experience these planes spontaneously, while others can consciously reach these dimensions with special techniques such as lucid dream triggering, meditation, or pre-sleep awareness studies. Spiritual encounters while sleeping are one of the most mysterious and transformative experiences that can happen to a person. Many people describe encounters with light beings, spiritual guides, deceased relatives, or even people who are still alive. So, is this just a trick of the mind? Or is there really communication with other consciousnesses? The answer to this question may be hidden in the nature of the astral plane. As we mentioned before, this dimension has an extremely flexible structure and responds completely to our intention and vibration. If consciousness goes beyond physical boundaries during sleep, it is also possible to experience real encounters with other consciousnesses. Many reports show that these encounters develop spontaneously, especially people who have lost a loved one state that they met that person in a dream, felt a sense of a real presence, and that the message was meaningful when they woke up. Although some people see these types of dreams as just part of the summer process, some events are too deep to be explained by an ordinary psychological mechanism, because previously unknown details may emerge in these dreams, and messages may carry meaning. Another common type of spiritual encounter is learning sessions. In esoteric traditions, it is said that our souls are sometimes literally taken to spiritual schools while we sleep, where they receive information about consciousness, evolution, and the universe. In fact, some people have said that when they wake up and remember and research concepts they never knew before, they discover that this information is in sacred texts or ancient teachings. So how can we gain more control over such encounters? Just as we mentioned in previous sections, setting an intention is very important here. Give yourself a clear suggestion before going to sleep. I want to meet my spiritual guide tonight and remember this experience in the morning. And be sure to keep a notebook next to your bed. Write down every detail the moment you wake up. Nightmares are one of the most disturbing but also most instructive phenomena of sleep. Although they are usually seen as a reflection of daily stress, their origins can go much deeper. Most of the time, nightmares are symbolic messages from the subconscious, emotional stimuli, or experiences experienced in intense astral layers. So why do they happen, and can we control them? Neuroscientific research shows that the brain continues to process emotions, organize memories, and make sense of what we experience during sleep. According to the threat simulation theory put forward by Finnish researcher Antti Revonsuo, nightmares are actually a natural defense mechanism of the brain that prepares us for real-life threats. But on a deeper level, this may also indicate that we are resonating to dimensions that match our internal vibrations. Nightmares usually occur during REM sleep. This is the stage when the brain is extremely active and intensely processes emotions and memories. Freud interpreted nightmares as an expression of repressed fears and traumas. Carl Jung, on the other hand, saw them as manifestations of deep archetypes of the human psyche. Research shows that people who have experienced trauma, severe stress, or severe losses have nightmares more often. The brain tries to reorganize these compelling emotions, but be careful. Not every nightmare has a psychological cause. Some nightmares come from somewhere inexplicably. They are like guests from another plane. If nightmares are a reflection of the emotional and energetic state before sleep, then it is possible to transform them. Here are some effective techniques. You should do energy cleansing, smoking sage before sleep, using lavender, or imagining a protective light around your body creates an energetic armor. You should incorporate the mental reprogramming technique into your life. Before going to bed, tell yourself, "I sleep in peace and protection." Such affirmations can completely change the vibration of your sleep. You should avoid heavy foods. Heavy meals eaten late at night, alcohol or caffeine reduce the quality of sleep and increase the risk of nightmares. You should write down your nightmares. They are not just fear, they sometimes carry very valuable messages. Writing reveals subconscious patterns. You should develop lucid awareness. Learning to be awake during dreams allows you to confront the nightmare and transform it into a positive experience. Most people want to escape nightmares, but some esoteric teachings say that they are actually hidden teachers. If a nightmare keeps recurring, it may be trying to teach you something. Practitioners of astral projection are trained to stay calm during nightmares and often find that the monster is actually a repressed aspect of themselves, a part that needs integration. If we can understand nightmares and look at them with new eyes, we can transform fear into inner wisdom and growth. Most people forget their dreams. This is because the brain directs its attention to physical reality as soon as it wakes up. The brain works very differently, especially during REM sleep. It accesses memories and creates symbolic narratives.
However, when you wake up, the rational mind takes over and quickly deletes this information as unimportant. Another reason is that dream memory has never been developed. Like any skill, the ability to remember dreams can develop with practice. Keeping a notebook next to your bed as soon as you wake up in the morning and writing down everything you remember strengthens this process.
At first, only fragments may remain, but over time, the details begin to become clear. Also, the first few seconds after waking up are very important. Not moving at that moment and keeping your eyes closed and replaying the images in your mind greatly increases the likelihood of remembering the dream. Stimulants you are exposed to before going to bed are also important. Excessive screen time, blue light, and information bombardment. It can cause the brain to suppress dream records. Sleeping in a more peaceful environment increases both the quality and recall of dreams. The dangers and difficulties of dreams and astral projections are often overlooked. However, this conscious sleep state is full of learning opportunities, but it also includes many situations that require attention. From constantly recurring nightmares to encounters with unknown beings, there are certain things you need to know to safely navigate the dream universe. Sleep paralysis, a condition where you feel like you are paralyzed while you are awake, is frightening for many people. This state is caused by the body still remaining in dream mode while the brain is awake. Sometimes there is a feeling of pressure in the chest. In some cases, dark beings are felt to be approaching. The scientific explanation is that the muscle is temporarily disabled. it is natural to prevent movement in a dream. However, some spiritual traditions say that this is due to the consciousness returning from an astral journey still being in contact with a parallel dimension. If you have such an experience, the most important thing is not to panic. You should focus on your breathing. Move your fingers with small movements and remember that this is temporary. Some people even use this moment as a door for conscious astral exit. Another challenge in the dream world is encountering unknown beings. Some people report coming into contact with beings in their dreams that seem to be much more than mental creations. These beings can be friendly, neutral, or disturbing. According to some experts, these figures are symbols of repressed aspects of the mind. However, in spiritual traditions, it is thought that these consciousnesses can be real beings and live in other dimensions. Intense emotions can create temporary forms of energy in dreams. Therefore, the most important rule in such encounters is not to give in to fear. Fear can increase the influence of these beings and make the experience more intense. If you find yourself in a negative environment, it may be useful to practice energy protection techniques before going to sleep. Imagining that your body is surrounded by light can create a powerful defensive shield. Some people become overactive in their dreams and wake up tired in the morning as if they have lived another life. This may be related to processing too much emotionally or having intense experiences during the night. In such cases, it is important to balance the energy. Drinking a glass of water as soon as you wake up, stepping barefoot on the ground, or taking a shower can help reconnect you with your physical body. There are two basic habits that are useful for navigating the dream world safely. The first is to practice a short ritual before going to sleep. Meditating, praying, or imagining yourself in light protects your energy. The second is to stay away from negative content before going to sleep. Horror movies, violent news, or discussions can directly affect your dreams. Sleep is not only a state of rest, but also a door opening to the hidden dimensions of consciousness. It is the laboratory of your subconscious, a tool for spiritual development, and a powerful tool for self-discovery. Everything you experience while sleeping offers you valuable messages about your mind, energy, and life purpose, from everyday dreams to astral projections. Now you know that your emotional state affects what you experience during the night. You can get answers by programming your consciousness. You can even turn nightmares into learning opportunities. Keeping a dream journal, triggering lucid dreams, and preparing your energy before sleep can turn sleep into consciousness expansion and inner discovery. And one thing is certain, you don't just sleep during the night. Your consciousness travels. Have you ever had a dream, a lucid experience, or an out-of-body feeling that you can't explain? Write in the comments. Your story can help others understand this unseen universe.